Hello everybody and welcome back to the 5-digit World Cup map pool showcase streams. A round of 16, of course. My name's Kimi and joined by Miles. Miles, how you doing?
Good morning, Taikani. I woke up with a sore throat, but I'm gonna thug it out here with you for this round of 16 showcase, the staple of my Monday morning. I am so ready to get into this map pool, brother.
Yeah, absolutely. This round of 16 pool has been quite a bit of hard work. Just going in, swapping maps, making sure that playtesters like the pool. I think we're pretty happy with the product overall. Let's quickly move into No Mod 1. I think generally we've been going with this consistency angle for No Mod 1 for a while, so we wanted to go with something that was a little more in the aim direction, just so that the No Mod 1 didn't get like super crazy stale with, okay, here's another super boring consistency map. So this one, 183 BPM aim for 4 minutes and 37 seconds. This one was, we had length concerns about the pool originally, so this was one of our biggest ways to balance it, was just to bring in the 4 minute 30 map.
Ed Bones and his aero game maps, man. Also, honestly, Zek and his aero game maps. Some trends going on with this map, but nonetheless, it's going to be your consistency pick with the aim involved. That 6.2 stars aim, no matter what, not going to be too difficult, but, that's just something you get in round of 16.
Yeah, it's always going to happen. I think, we're getting to the point where we can experiment a little more with the aim, but for now, this is all we can really do, right? Like, 6.2 isn't crazy, though I think some players are going to have trouble with this, just given its sort of disposition in the Kiais as the more raw aim map in the pool, I would even dare to say. As well as these bursts are actually pretty high spacing.
Yep, and those 1-2s before the Kiai section. Oftentimes, I think catching people out. I mean, the 5 digits in this tournament definitely are not the farm players. I wasn't the farm player either. 1-2s are the hardest types of aim for me, and I'm going to be honest.
Yeah, I think honestly that's probably true for most tourney players. We don't play the farm aim anymore. And then suddenly 1-2s are just, you can't play them. They're impossible.
1-2s, I don't know. It's like people say they're so easy to read. Like, I don't know, Monstrata had something going with the triangles. I think 1-2s are so unbelievably difficult. But, still 6.2 stars. Hopefully, people aren't going to be finding too much trouble on them. But, as build-up jumps before a Ki, it's inevitable somebody is going to break there.
Oh, for sure. There's nerves are going to come into play, and someone's going to have an awful time. Right at the end of the Ki, too, just in case you thought you were safe.
Yeah, nerves. Nerves in World Cups are something else, man. I mean, like, I had to deal with it when I was a 4WC captain for USA. Like, those matches are rough. And I mean, with how strenuous the tryout processes seem for a lot of 5WC teams, I bet a lot of these players are going to be really nervous because it's really hard to get this opportunity to be on some of those teams.
Yeah, I think that's true for just a lot of maps. Nerves are ever present in matches like this, but these are the kinds of maps that really take advantage of it. When you get to these huge jumps and you start overthinking how you're aiming and you mess up, and then it's just awful. I hate it so much.
Yeah, I don't know. No Mod 1 for me has always just been kind of a lock-in sort of slot. Like, you just tune your brain out. And I don't know. For me, this is one of the slots that I got better at with nerves, because it's like when you're so focused, like, and it's a No Mod 1, which is one of the simplest maps in the pool most of the time, you're able to just zone out and let your instincts kind of carry you, and I think this map is no exception to that. There isn't really too much that'll make you like misread or misjudge where to aim. So overall, maybe a pretty nice map.
Yeah, I would say so. This is by far the simplest map in the pool, and I don't think there's anything super crazy to mention about it. It's just, this is map. Also, thank you, Elchier, for the replay. He did this while we were pooling quarterfinals. He just went through and started grinding out round of 16 replays. I think we were missing half the pool's worth of replays last night. So Elchier, absolute soldier alongside Yoshi Lover. Those were the two people that really tried to step up with the replays this week.
I'm seeing HRDs as well with a lot on this sheet.
Yeah, HRDs was, I guess, Yeah, you know what? No, he did play last night. So he said he was gonna go to bed, and then he ended up just staying up to do replays. I forgot about that.
Hashtag stop replayer abuse.
Maybe next week.
Yeah, map
stats. After a long map, this is about the end of the No Mod 1.
Map stats on this one are going to be very comfortable unless you are an AR10 reliant player. AR 9.2, maybe a little low for some people, but I'm going to go with the skill issue on that one. If you can't read 9.2 on your No Mod 1, then that's a you problem.
Yeah. All right, let's move on into No Mod 2, Supersonic Samurai. This one... I actually had a lot of trouble playtesting this one. I am very much not a streams player, but I think overall the whole pooling team did enjoy this. It's 182 BPM streams flow in.
And up over 4 minutes in length, over 2,000 max combos. So once again, on the longer side, got your aim consistency pick, followed by the stream consistency pick. And the note density on this one being as much as it is, you really need to worry a lot about keeping your accuracy high, I think.
Absolutely. The accuracy on this map is a killer. That's the big thing I had trouble with, right? Like, I was a quarter way through the map, and I looked up, and I was like, I have 60k right now. That's not good. Because this whole map is very dense throughout. There is a constant stream of 1/4 being thrown at you. There's never really a point where that density stops, which is kind of a trade-off with the BPM that we're at here. 182 is not a particularly fast BPM. So the mapper balances that by just going with this 1/4 all the time approach.
The OD 9.1 seems like a pretty funny choice to me, but still that's also going to be quite this accuracy strain on this. But also 182 BPM I think is within a lot of people's comfort ranges, and I'm sure there are a lot of players in this tournament who can play this type of thing like a metronome, so I'm not going to worry too much.
Yeah. This was one where we actually had a different map, a Sad Machine, but it was, I think it was a little too easy was what the general complaint was. It was 177 BPM, OD 8.7, so just off the stats alone, you can kind of tell how it was easier than this, not even looking at the map itself. But once we replaced this, I think everyone was a little more happy with the direction.
Are you talking about the macaroni and cheese Sad Machine? I think that's its name.
No, it's She Depends on You.
Oh, okay. I don't know that one then.
From early 2023, apparently.
I was gonna say the other one I played in like literally 2017 in a 1v1 tournament.
Yeah, no, we're not that cool.
Sorry guys, had to flex there. I played tourneys in 2017.
That's actually crazy. Your account's what? You're 2015, right?
Yeah.
Damn, I can tell you, I sure as hell wasn't playing tourneys in 2017. I think the only tourney I knew about back then was OWC. That's crazy.
OWC is the entry drug, and then you just start getting into all the other ones.
Yeah, that's actually so true. I think more recently there's been other tournaments that act as an entry drug, like Roundtable, Emirates Cup, Corsairs. Like those have kind of taken that place a little bit, but OWC is the big one.
OWC is where Osu gets people outside of Osu to actually watch.
Yeah. Shoutouts, by the way, to Lights Out for this replay. Our qualifier's GOAT back again.
The double tapper himself.
Yes, sir. And you can see it uncomfortably watch as he does it in the slower sections.
Yeah, no, the slow sections on this, I get double tapping sliders. There's a lot of players just like learned to double tap sliders. I do, Arnold does, but double tapping just like normal notes, I don't get that. There's also players who single tap large jumps for some reason. Like I know, like if you ever watch Skill play like a high star aim map, he will double tap all of the jumps. But there's only a few players off the top of my head who just double tap everything. Like I'm pretty sure it's just Lights Out and Chitoge OP. At least those are the ones that I remember.
Yeah.
But that's Nomad 2.
Move on into Nomad 3. 165 BPM is the highlight of this one, and the highlight of much discussion around this. The justification is this isn't the quote-unquote alt map. We wanted aim control direction with the wiggles, as well as a little bit of flow control. And then the quote-unquote alt map is later in the hidden 3 slot. So we went with this 165 BPM Nomad 3 in Asphyxia, mapped by Semaphore.
I'd still consider this an alt map. It's maybe on the quicker side, and it maybe has some finger control as well, but definitely going to be a spicier alt challenge than I think, at least compared to how vanilla the Nomad 1 and Nomad 2 have been.
Yeah, I definitely consider it an alt map. That's why I use quote-unquote, because people are weird about it. But generally, it was just like, it was about skill set at the end of the day, and there's BPM variance between this and the Hidden 3, which we'll see later on, which I think is good for testing the skill sets that are present in alt maps. This one, we really wanted to hammer that aim control. There's these constant snaps all over these PIs. There's wiggles on occasional longer patterns. I personally really like this map. This is a contender for my favorite map in the pool to play.
Yeah, this map is super epic. I think I've played it in a tournament before as well. But yeah, back on the topic of defining an alt map, I remember Bubbleman used to make the argument that alt isn't a real term because, you know, he's a full alt player, where he would start calling it circle tech. And I don't know if I'm like, I think all these years later, I'm starting to agree with him, but I'm still not going to call it circle tech. Every other argument about it, though, is real.
I remember one time, God save my soul, I ventured into the map pool feedback channel for a tournament I wasn't pooling, and I casually dropped that alt isn't a skill set, and people got really mad at me, but I fully believe that. I think there are skill sets that make up what people call alt, but I don't think it's fair to just call a map alt and leave it at that.
I think it's an umbrella term. It's an umbrella term, like saying gimmick means like 18 different things.
Oh, for sure.
Like, if we're
BPM range, honestly.
If we're being honest with the English here, gimmick could also mean speed if you consider speed a gimmicky skill set. But I'm not gonna get into that. I'm gonna start getting people a bit angry. I mean, Osu has defined the word gimmick as meaning something, but I'm not gonna get into that. Yeah, nonetheless.
By the way, HRDs for the replay.
Yeah, it's a pretty good replay for what I think is probably one of the harder maps in the pool. This type of map in 6.2 stars, I think pretty difficult. But still a great map, and I think the higher skill cap teams are definitely gonna abuse this one into the lower seeded teams that they're gonna go up against this week.
Yeah, for sure. Now let's move on into Nomad 4. Tech was the bane of pooling for this week. I think we had the rest of the pool done for a very long time before we were actually able to find our tech picks. To the point that when it came to Nomad 4, I literally just went, alright, I'm done looking for specific song parameters, trying to find something that might be a tech song, and I just went ahead and I typed Blue Archive, sort by difficulty.
This guy.
We ended on this.
This guy. Oh yeah, Mr. No Life in chat gets what I'm saying, but I'm still trapped in earlier days when speed wasn't meta and was actually a gimmick. Yeah. So in that case, you're right, but then would I have to start calling aim gimmick, and that just does not feel right. But yeah, one day. Yeah. Nice little Mitsukiyo song. Songs that lend themselves very nicely to tech picks. I know we used one in OWC this year.
Yeah, I think a lot of the Blue Archive soundtrack is known for the Osu Philippines collabs that kind of spawn on them. This set is not Filipino, but it does contain the Filipino collab. To kind of keep in tradition where that will go, Blue Archive tech will spawn. And this map is no exception. I think this is just pretty good general like flow tech, just based off the Blue Archive song.
Seems pretty vanilla once again. I think your tech players will have nothing to worry about on this sort of map. This is the type of thing that I don't think anything in this will really catch people off guard.
Yeah. But I think this is the shortest map in the no mod pool, I want to say, and it's already over. Shortest by 4 seconds. The next shortest is no mod 5. Letter to the Black World. This was we cycled through a couple different picks, but I think people like this. We actually cycled through 3 ARs on this map alone, because the mapper uploaded AR3, AR6, AR7, AR8, AR8.5, and AR9, I think. And we ended up on the AR8. Much to my dismay, I was really fighting for AR6, but this is what everybody kind of agreed on was best for the reading difficulty on this AR8.
Yeah, no, AR6 in a 6.2 star pool might be a little bit mean, so I definitely support the decision to just put AR8 here.
Haters, all these haters, and for what, man?
I'm not a hater. I'm just saying, like, if you're gonna push reading that far, then you have to put like a 280 BPM map in DT to like make up for it on the other side.
Yeah, I think this I've thought about this song before 5WC. Like, there is no way that we are going to dodge this song for 5WC. I am sure. Not this set, but I am sure that this song is present in an overwhelming amount of tryout pools. I know it was present in the USA tryout pool. I think it's a free mod 2. This song has just been really, really popular, and this is like the right star rating range to just make it unavoidable when you're looking for maps. I think we had 3 different maps of this song that we were looking at for this pool alone.
That's insane because I've never seen this map before.
Yeah, I know.
It's like these trends like this in map pooling are insane because I remember like I think it's Mythos Orbis. Like once Mythos Orbis got released, I think OWC Grand Finals Nomad 2, I think everyone just used that as their Nomad 2 in tryouts for 3WC for like a year straight. 3WC, OWC, everyone just using the same map.
Yeah, I mean, where else are you gonna see the Nomad 2 custom song come into play, right? Like, that was inevitable the second that dropped. Anyways, that's Nomad 5. It's a quick one. Thank you, Yoshi Lover, for the replay. Let's move on into Hidden 1. This one, the bane of the replayer chat.
Oh, look at the guy on the replay.
A couple of us had a couple attempts at it. First Elcheer, then Yoshi Lover, and then finally I was just like, you know what? You guys aren't having fun. I'm just gonna go through and do it. Like late last night while I was still warm after we pooled the quarterfinals. So here we go. Bergentrueckung and ASGORE, map by DeviousPanda, is our Hidden 1. The awkward aim, and very awkward is it. It is constantly just really, really weird to hit.
Yep, classic song from Undertale, if anyone here played that. I know a lot of people did back when it came out. And I think an equally notorious mapper, DeviousPanda, has made a lot of stuff people are familiar with, known mostly for his, I think, very definitive style of aim. And also his rhythm control maps, but this one is not one of those. It's going to be more focused on the aim, but also does have some of that aspect of awkwardness you can see in a lot of his other maps.
Yeah, for sure. I think the DeviousPanda maps are interesting because they always look pretty, and then you play them and you're like, this is not what I expected looking at this first glance. Like, you see all these pretty slider shapes, they make sense in your mind to look at. The second you play them, it is such weird, strange aim, and I love it. It works great for this slot, but it is strange nonetheless.
You have that nice little flow pattern into the sharp triangle, which I think is gonna test people's, I guess, like, aim consistency in a sense of, like, you're changing the angle that you're aiming at very quickly, has the opportunity to catch people off.
Yeah, for sure. So, we do generally like this pick. It was like, this was another one that we were like kind of trying to figure out what we actually wanted for the hidden slot really late into the pooling. Decided like let's go for something higher BPM, balancing around the DT pool. And we were happy with this at 230 BPM.
Oh. Would you look at that? Code 5WC. The replayer Taikani clearly knows what he's talking about because the two sponsors of 5-Digit World Cup, Momokai and Blue Bunny, have codes 5WC on their website. You get 10% off purchases either way. Let me tell you guys, my tablet is very scratched right now, and I actually went to Blue Bunny last night and used code 5WC and got one of their tablet covers, put a custom background on it. That's gonna come soon, and I'm gonna put it on it, and you'll have a screenshot of it for the. I hope it comes before the tournament ends, so you can have a picture of it on the showcase. But
it should. Definitely... The shipping, I can speak from experience. The shipping is pretty good.
Oh, yep, that's great to hear. Better than Foxbox, which took me 2 years to get every time. But go check them out. And Momokai as well. Tap Trio, you know it. You've heard about it. Sponsored many tournaments, and we thank them for their services.
Yeah, let's move on to the hidden 2. Just ignore the hidden 1 ending, please.
Yeah, it's at the end.
Kimiga. This one, because No Mod 5, you sort of lean into that overlap reading angle. This one is I think the idea for this one was AR8 consistency. I know Ed Bones really likes this map. I can't think of a single tournament where he hasn't at least suggested this when we pool together. So he's been very, very fond of this one.
Yep, Kimi ga, another classic song. I think I remember this one mostly for the Angel Honey set. I remember that one was in OWC, I think like 2017 as well. But this one gonna be a more modern set, big collab. And this is probably gonna be for the people who are disappointed that the No Mod 5 didn't have more reading in it. You're gonna get more of that here for sure.
Yeah, where No Mod 5 was kind of your ability to aim mixed with the overlap reading. I think this one kind of pushes your AR8 comfort at this stage with the consistent density of it. Even though it's 173 BPM, things can kind of feel, I don't want to say clutter on the screen, but it's how it feels at least to me when I'm actually playing it. And the spacings on this are weird. You have like these mappers are very much like these modern weirder mappers in Ralkinxiaon and Frostwitch who have the ability to have these placements that can kind of throw you off if you're not ready, along with this Ki, which has some of those weirder 1-1 gaps.
And those wide-angle jumps I saw going into the Ki are also very difficult. I think flow aim with spacing on AR8 when you're aiming is just very difficult. And that anti-aim as well on the pattern you just saw, like, so many spots for you to miss on this map.
Yeah, it's pretty difficult all around. I think the big focus of this, at least for me, is the low BPM. No Mod 5 at 185 BPM. I guess it's technically low, but it certainly doesn't feel low with how dense that map is. Where this one, I think, because it's mostly 1/2, you really feel the low BPM come across. There's a bit of an act challenge, I would say, just on that. Trying to stay consistent within that 173 range while also reading just fine.
But on the 173, it also makes the map just generally more or less dense. You still have only a couple notes on the screen at the time, so it's really gonna hinge on your general AR8 comfort when you're playing this. And your pattern processing, because as you just saw, that pentagon on the left side of the screen, that could be very rude to your combo. But still, I think good pick for probably the higher seeded teams. This looks a lot more difficult than the No Mod 5.
Yeah, it's pretty difficult for sure. Luckily, it is also only 3 minutes. I think we used to have a longer one here in this slot, and that would have been painful for some players. But that's it. That's the Hidden 2. Let's move on into Hidden 3. Last week Hidden 3 was tech. This week it is very not. I think the background is the dead giveaway to that. This is our anime alt map. 1/3, though you don't super feel the swing element. I think people would get mad if we put real swing maps in. So this functions as a 150 BPM alt map, basically.
Wait, you're telling me Taikani wasn't the pooler of the map with the Gochu Yusa background?
Listen, I would have if I knew this map existed, but I didn't.
Yep, Ed Bones holding up the mantle. You can
He
tell
did
he's
it.
a great pooler to work with for you because he puts in the Gochiusa maps for you.
But we have a flow. I put in the Love Live maps, he puts in the Gochiusa maps. And eventually one of us will put in an Musume map. We just gotta find the right one.
Mm-hmm. But yep, the hidden alt gonna be a little bit different stylistically from the Nomad one, which was a lot more focused, I think, on the awkward flow with the semaphore map, along with a little bit of a secondary skill set of finger control, while this one feels a lot more vanilla when it comes to more alt stuff.
Yeah, it is weird that we're saying that the swing map is vanilla, but that's completely true. It's not, like, this rhythm is not going to be the thing that throws people off. It's just gonna be the spacing. The spacing is the big thing with this one. I think there's a little bit of a flow aim challenge, but just generally making sure you can catch the slider ends on these some longer sliders, along with those little cuts right there, is the real difficulty of this one, which is kind of interesting when we're talking a map like this rhythmically.
Once again, 198 BPM for alt is pretty comfortable, I would say. No one's gonna be worried for it being too fast or too slow. I think the golden range for that being somewhere between 170 and 200. Yeah, once again, AR on 9.2 with the BPM all the way up at 198. That does lend itself to be a little bit dense for some players who maybe aren't as comfortable on the lower approach rates. But I know 5 digits don't have this problem like higher ranked players do, who just do nothing but play hard rock and DT all day. So I should stop making that comment.
Yeah, it's kind of hard as like an open rank commentator trying to cast 5 digits, because you have to remember, like, little bits like that, like people are generally going to be comfortable on lower ARs, especially like as you get lower and lower rank, like 50k, lower ARs are even more present. 6 digit, they just all can play Hidden 2. It's not fair. I wish I could. But the 5 digits, generally, like, you're gonna have a little less trouble with the AR 9.2, which is why we felt pretty comfortable with putting it in this slot.
And I know that lends itself to the mod rules of free mod in this tournament as well. I remember last time I was so surprised hearing you can do 4-way hard rock on free mods.
Yeah.
Because I know in upper ranks they're very strict on like what mods you have to run on a free mod map.
Yeah, and there's been a lot of discussion about how we pull around that. I know some players don't love the rules, and we're trying a little more to balance the free mods around them. But it generally works just because it's 5 digit.
Absolutely. Now this map is on the longer side, another one near 4 minutes.
Yeah. I think it makes up for the general lack otherwise of alt, having the longer alt maps. That is the end of the map. Thank you, Yoshi Lover, for the replay. Let's move on into Hard Rock 1.
Ikusa, Smokeman's Extra. This is another classic set, been around in tournaments for a while. Haven't seen this diff on Hard Rock though.
Yeah, this one, personally, I've never seen this set in tournaments, but I've had this set downloaded since, I think, 2020. Just because I was going through, I think, every Smokeman map I could find and deciding if I liked his maps or not. This map's really good. I do like this map a lot. This was meant to be our consistency, which has kind of been locked in No Mod 1 hell for a little bit. It went in Hard Rock this week.
Also 196 BPM with a, I think, decent presence of streams in this map could lock some players out who don't really have the tapping for this, but the bursts don't look too long, so shouldn't be too concerned about that.
Yeah.
Otherwise, aim looks fairly comfortable. Lots of sharp angled jumps in this. Lots of very normal shapes. Gonna be pretty average HR consistency check, I would say.
Holy shit. Okay. Complete sidetrack. I'm making the map pack right now. Went to Hidden One. Apparently, I mapped like a minute of Hidden One. Like back. This has to be like 2020. There's just a Taikanese extra dip unuploaded. What the hell? I forgot about this. I don't remember mapping this.
All right, we're removing the DeviousPanda map. We're putting in whatever 1 minute you have mapped in there. Full stop.
Yeah, with the 30-second break in the middle, it'll be perfect.
Mm-hmm. Amazing.
Beautiful lore.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, otherwise, in this map, it's going to have your Hard Rock comfort stats, CS 5.2, AR10, OD10. HR players, gonna have a good time.
Yeah. It's pretty comfortable for Hard Rock players, honestly. I think people were concerned about Hard Rock being the aim pool in in round of 32. Tried to balance it out a little more, tried to make sure Hard Rock was less aim heavy. For this one, yeah, it's aim elements, but general mechanical consistency was the name of the game here. I don't know what the hell is wrong with the overlay. That is 196 BPM. Oh, wait, no. I read that as 1%. I can't read. Never mind.
You just made me see it. Now I can't unsee it. Oh my god.
It literally reads exactly like that. Fonts are so funny sometimes.
1%, 196. I see the exact same thing.
Yeah, they look the same. That's messed up.
Oh my god. But yeah, one thing, I think the speed teams are going to come to this as their pick when they run out of speed maps.
Yeah,
maybe. You know, that's a thing where, you know, the DT teams also are usually Hard Rock teams after that. So, you know, going for a consistent map with 196 BPM bursts all around probably will be pretty comfortable on this. Yeah. Although I think that'll probably come into play more so in the later stages.
Yeah. 3 minutes, 30 seconds as well. About wrapping up the map. Thank you, HRDs, for the replay. HRDs, down to the name, did every replay for Hard Rock, all FCs. Shout out to this guy. Up until, what, like 6 a.m. last night doing replays? That's the GOAT.
The GOAT. All right, now on to Hard Rock 2, Yomi Zakura, mapped by Perchance, Expert Diff. This is going to be Precision. Now, you know what I was saying about like BPM having so much relation to density earlier? This map has the opposite thing, where it's down at 168 BPM and approach rate 10. You're only going to have one note and maybe like half of the second note loaded on screen at once, and that can make itself almost read like it's a lot higher approach rate than it actually is.
Yeah, it is interesting. We've had we've been discussing a lot in among the poolers, like how map density affects reading, and I think this map is a clear example of that, where the low density combined with the high AR, as you said, makes it feel like a much higher AR. If you're not completely comfortable with AR 10, you might have some trouble on a map like this.
That's why some maps that are like, you know, 240 BPM on AR9, which a lot of people used to map like a decade ago, those maps feel so difficult to read, even though they're at AR9, which is something that a lot of players are just generally comfortable on. And that's your lesson in density. Yeah, otherwise, this is going to be your, I think, pretty basic precision aim map. So nothing your Hard Rock players should worry about too much. Still have your comfort stats for your precision pick. Only CS 6.5, hasn't gotten smaller than that yet. But yeah, once again, 3 minutes and 49 seconds. Pretty long one.
Yeah. It is worth noting. I do want to say that the overlay on stream is taking the length of the MP3. Not the drain time of maps, which is what the pool is balanced around, where the average drain time in this pool is actually 2 minutes 40 seconds. But the song lengths are just, they feel a little higher than what the drain lengths the overlay is actually showing, so they're a little shorter than you might expect.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, one thing, it's so scary playing maps that are extremely low density, almost equally to high density, because you just like, if you're nervous and your aim is just so reactive, like you just have such a high chance of just miss-snapping something. and that'll
Yeah.
just cause you to find a break on absolutely nothing. That maybe takes the cake for one of the most infuriating types of misses, other than misreading a stack on a slow part.
Yeah, and of course it was gonna happen on like the precision map, right? Where there is one little miss that just will ruin your day because the circles are so small that you just can't avoid it sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, thank you again, HRDs, for the replay. The banger FC as we go into the last sort of dense section, or intense section, I guess I should say, of the map. It is interesting. This one is definitely. This one feels like more of an A map than Hard Rock 1 in some respects.
It definitely does. I mean, Hard Rock 1, the aim is like so basic that you could just call it consistency, and there's a lot of emphasis on the streams. This one, it's pretty much all jumps all the way through, and at 168 BPM, you don't really need to think about your tapping at all. So
yeah,
definitely see where you're coming from with that. That's gonna.
Well, yeah, that's the map.
Nice FC from HRDs. And time to go to the next Hard Rock, the third one, and a third FC from HRDs on a Hard Rock. We have Transform on 0 PPs extra.
Yeah, this was the very last map to be slotted into the pool when we finished it. This one was after the blue archive searching of Nomad 4. We were like, okay, we need like some raw slider aim to balance it out, and I just kept searching Avalon mappers until we got something. I think started with Halgo, ended up like after I think like 3 searches going wait, and just typing in 0 PP and Osu, and almost immediately finding the right map with Transform, which it very much goes hard on that slider aim aspect, I think.
Mm-hmm. Searching mapper names when pooling is an underrated tactic, I think.
Really
a lot of people just use their collections and like difficulty searches, but like you end up finding sets that you don't remember actually exist.
If you know exactly what you want, if you can narrow what you want down to a mapper, it is so helpful. If there was a mapper that consistently maps similar things, like 0 PP, we knew we wanted slider aim. Guess who almost exclusively does slider aim, right? Like, it just works sometimes.
Mm-hmm. Slider aim on Hard Rock, though, I think a notoriously difficult skill set to get good accuracy on. You saw HRDs on his replay getting something like 94%. Which is why I think a lot of people are going to resort to maybe going for some combo game strats on this map, because getting the combo is just so much more important on this, because if you drop with the low accuracy, then your score can really quickly go into the dumps.
Mm-hmm. That said, teams that can comfortably get high accuracy, teams that are comfortable on Hard Rock, that are comfortable on Slider Tech, are going to have a hell of a time with this map. They are going to love this pick. As I think this is the part that really benefits your act, where the slider aim difficulty kind of dissipates a little bit, and you get that more traditional tech element to it, where you can kind of just coast away with your good accuracy, make sure the other team can't take away the point, and feel good. So you get rewarded really, not only for your combo but also for being the only high accuracy player in the room.
Yeah, those straight sliders at the end are going to be really nice after those more awkward ones in the beginning. You can actually hit the slider ends on that, and then the doubles makes it so you can actually get good act. So hopefully people have their tapping on point for that part of the map. But that's going to do it for the Hard Rock pool. Now let's go on to DT1. We've got Chata present, Ed Bones, and his freaking eroge, man.
Yeah, Ed Bones pooling Eroge in the 1 slot, I don't think will ever die. I don't think there's anything we can do to stop him at this point. This one, this was obviously going to happen, right? Like, Eroge and DT1 just go together.
Yeah, they do more than any other slot. Like, doing it in Nomad 1, I think, is a little more out there, but in DT1, like, there are just infinite possibilities for this. What's the game called? This is from Island, yeah.
Yeah, don't watch the anime, it's bad, but I hear the Eroge is pretty good.
Yeah, no, actually, yeah, I read it last summer.
I don't even think it's an Eroge, right?
Yeah, it's just a VN. I don't even know if there's any, like, Eroge in it, but it's a great VN. I think you should read it. You're gonna think it's normal, and then you get like 15 or 20 hours in, and then you realize it's not. So, yeah, play it before your match for the buff. Except I'm pretty sure this song literally plays like at the very end of the game, so you're gonna have a while to get to the buff. But if you start reading now and you read every day, you'll make it to match time.
Just make sure you have time to practice the pool. Speaking of practice, you don't have to worry about practicing 10.3 this week. This is the last week where this will be the case. Heads up. We had a lot of back and forth discussion about this. The decision was that this map is dense enough that it's difficult to read even at AR10, that we don't need to introduce 10.3 quite yet. 10.3 will be in the pool forward. It's just this week we decided that the map worked well enough to not need it.
Yeah, you can pretend that Hard Rock 2 is 10.3 because the 168 BPM at AR10 makes it basically AR11, so...
True!
Exactly. That's the big brain strat. Yeah, AR10, gonna be comfy for anyone who goes in for a DT, if I'm being honest. It's AR you absolutely cannot avoid with this mod, so... And same thing with the BPM at 244.5. That is just like quintessential DT BPM, quintessential DT map stats. And I think people, this might have the highest average score of the weekend if I have to put in a wager right now. Very comfy.
Yeah. Let's move on into DT2, Neurotoxin. I think low SR speeds, always hard to balance. I am really happy with how we have the speed maps in this pool this week. And Neurotoxin's kind of the start of it. This one is your big finger control burst. It's 270 BPM. This is the fastest of the speed maps.
Nothing like some hyper difficulty in DT. Neurotoxin, very classic song. I see HRD's referencing the Square stream practice map in the Twitch chat. Yeah. I definitely have at least 10 locals on that one, and this one's gonna be a little different. I know you just saw that Square double, but do not fool yourself. This is not a Square stream practice map. Oh, okay. Maybe it's a Square alt practice map, but still it's gonna be a lot of finger control on this one.
Yeah, the finger control on this one, absolutely brutal. You gotta be ready to shred.
Some people may opt to cheese those doubles. You can probably get away with double tapping those and only getting 100.
Yeah. I don't remember if this was one of the ones that we pooled in our follow-up session for round 16 or if it was there originally. Either way, I think all the poolers really like this map.
It's a very, very interesting DT. It tests a lot. You have to strain your speed like that burst and also the finger control. So it's gonna be more than just your typical DT2 if you're going by conventional slots here.
Yeah.
But once again, on the shorter side, 1 minute 39, 1 minute 31 actually with drain time. So gonna be your short DT again for the second week in a row. But now on to double time 3. Drums on the wheel. Quantum Vortex double time.
Yeah, this was one we were kind of back and forth on for a while, but decided it worked for the pool. We do like this one. 225 BPM. This one was meant to be the stamina pick, where over time this just a density of 1/4 will absolutely wear you down, even if it's just 2 minutes.
I feel like on low star DT, you kind of do have this problem of maps looking a little bit similar. This one could argue it's a little bit similar to the DT2, but I think more emphasis on the stamina, a little less aim involved.
Yeah.
And BPM being lower as well means you're gonna have, I think, a better time on the stamina. I think if the 240, or actually no, DT2 is 270. If those bursts were longer, I think a lot of people wouldn't have a very good time. So I don't think that, the traditional knowledge of stamina map DT2, speed map DT3 really matters here. Especially if, trends in the greater pooling scene. I wouldn't worry too much about that.
Yeah.
So just to quell any arguments in the Twitch chat here, I think 5WC and I think the 5-digit scene in general are holding on to slot pooling for a little bit longer, but if you let me pool a few tournaments, actually you probably shouldn't. I would probably get killed in the feedback, but it's not as big of a deal as you think. Not as big of a deal as you think.
I don't think 5-digit is ready for Miles pooling yet. We'll get there.
Yeah, no, Yokes, let's do it. Let's pool 5-digit Yokes.
Let's go! God, I would pay to play in that tournament, dude. You got me signed up.
I would exclusively pool maps before 2016 for the first 2 rounds.
Yes, dude! Okay, I'm in. Where do I sign up?
Do it. But yeah, you know, the stamina on this map is actually kind of brutal, I think, for this kind of stage. Those streams at the end get really long, and at the end of the map when your stamina is already drained, that's gonna be tough. But yep, that's gonna do it for DT. On to the free mod pool. Lawn Wake 4. Flashbulb. I'll let you take the mic, Taikani.
It's speed.
It's speed? It's speed?
It's finger control.
It's 217 beats per minute, 2 minutes and 7 seconds of drain time.
And it hit me while I was organizing.
In the free mod pool, which means someone is going to have to take a mod on this. And you know, AR 9.4 gonna be pretty comfy on the hidden still. So don't need to worry about a density check if you add hidden. But Hard Rock, you know, at the circle size 3.4, not gonna be too difficult when you put that on. CS is gonna remain in the 4s. What does speed even mean? We're about to get into the same conversation about gimmick with speed, about how it's all relative. Do not start me. Do not wind me up because I will talk about this shit for way too long.
This map is only 2 minutes. We don't have the time for the discussion.
My speed definition. My speed. This is not speed. This is not speed. Okay. Yeah.
Shout out to interviews, by the way, for the Hard Rock replay.
But you know, breakcore does lend itself to a different kind of style of finger control. So I like that.
Yeah.
Adds kind of a different flavor to the other tapping maps in the pool. And those buzz sliders, do not underestimate those. Just one little mistap, and you can find yourself finding a break that you will not be very happy with.
Yeah, no, I had a lot of trouble with the buzz sliders personally. As someone who is not very good at this skill set, a couple of them caught me up when I was testing it for the pool. But I think the general consensus is they're not over the top. They're just, you know, comfort checks at the end of the day. Some of those doubles. Just generally, I think this pick works with the finger control.
Yeah, nonetheless, it is going to be a tapping challenge. If I'm not allowed to use speed for 217, then tapping challenge. It's a tapping map that will be balanced towards other tapping maps in the pool. Yeah, that's gonna be the free mod 1. Let's go on to the other free mod map that people love seeing, the anti-mod map.
Woo!
CS5, approach rate 8. My anti-mod.
Yeah,
Yaspo.
Prismatic Lollipops, not Lollipops, mapped by Yaspo. I'm actually surprised I haven't seen this one more, but it's a pretty traditional anti-aim pick.
You have those funny Yaspo sliders that I don't see anybody other than him using.
Yep.
That curve. Yeah, it's gonna have a lot of grid style aim with the linear jumps. I think still to round of 16 gonna be very comfortable for players who opt to take mods on this.
Yeah, it is interesting. Trying to pull anti-mod around the free mod rules, where I think the general consensus is we wanted this to be a little harder for Hard Rock, so teams weren't just stacking Hard Rock a little easier. That's how it was last week as well. Generally like this. Still difficult on the AR8, no doubt, but the precision on this one can be a real kicker.
It's really, once again, just going to come down to the comfort mods. I think that's exactly what you expect for a round of 16 pool at 6.2 stars. Nothing here should be like, I think, scaling people out of their skill sets yet if they're comfortable at 6.2 star rating, which I think 5 digits are probably good enough for that at this point, right?
Yeah,
of course.
I hope so.
I mean, but that's going to do it for the normal pool. Now, on to the tiebreaker. Got a pretty conventional one here. Arcadia, Kalibe, and Yusomi collab. This one, I think, most notable for its awkward aim consistency. And
so
it's a banger.
We, until, what, 18 hours ago, we had a custom in this slot, actually. So this one was kind of a last-minute pick. But we really like how this works. It's your Kalibe Yusomi collab, as you said. Where I have a little bit of a I will make fun of certain maps for being, quote, Kalibe fan 123 for trying to imitate Kalibe without getting how it works. And I guess at some point Edbones had took it to mean that I don't like Kalibe. So he was shocked when I said that I love this map. I think this map's awesome.
God. Yep, this map, I really like this song, and there's something to say about tiebreakers that have songs that get really intense and that, you know, kind of play with your emotions at the end, because, you know, nerves on tiebreakers are something else. I was talking about this last week. Yeah, otherwise, you know, 6.23 star consistency aim map. I think this type of thing in tiebreakers is really nerve-wracking to watch, because I think every team in this tournament should have a team of 4 that will be able to get a good score on this map because of how conventional it is. It's really just an aim map once again. Nothing here is really gonna, I think, bar people out from, say, a reading requirement or a speed requirement. So you're probably gonna have people who are very good at this if maps do go to tiebreaker.
Yeah, for sure. I think there was a lot of discussion on on how weird this map can be. Doubles are not like the comfort area of a lot of 5 digits, I think. But we ended up deciding like it's actually really good for this map, that sort of rhythmic variance that provides a little bit of interest in the tapping side of things, allows players to really outshine with ACK if they can build up enough combo on it. So in general, we really like how this pick works. I am really sad that we had to swap our custom to the next round, but it will be their next round, which it is unfortunate. At least I really wanted to see a custom in round of 16 because unfortunately, the reality is that there are going to be teams that are eliminated before they can play a single custom map. But we were focused on making sure customs were as high quality as possible, and for a lot of mappers, that means just moving it to another round so they don't have to make the map like worse in quality to try and fit a slot description better.
But yeah, map stats on this, fairly comfortable, as you would expect on a consistency tiebreaker. AR 9.5, OD 8.5. If anyone wants to mod this, you probably can get away with a comfort mod hidden if you're one of those players. You could be a baller and go hard rock. I've seen it happen in World Cups before. I think famously in 2021, USA and Canada went to tiebreaker, and Nanawo went hard rock, and Canada won.
It's so hard. Wait, I've never seen that.
It's crazy when it happens, but you don't see it happen way too much. I'd really love to see it, though. If you have a team with a monster hard rock player, definitely worth the attempt on a map like this. But, you know, the way Kalibe map streams, it does add quite an element of aim control. If you do want to go hard rock, like that little alt pattern becomes a much more of a wiggle on HR. So, you know, maybe I'll take that back, but I will encourage you to go hard rock. I think that would be awesome, and you would be a baller if you won with it.
Yeah. No, I would love to see that, but the Kalibe map is difficult for sure. Not only just like the stream patterns, also the sliders can be a bit troubling with hard rock, where you're dropping slider ends just because of the sort of weirder shapes across the board. So you have to be really comfortable with this style of map. You have to be Kalibe fan 123 himself to hit any of it. So, you know, if you are, please feel free, make my day. But otherwise, I think we're just going to see a lot of people just stack Nomad on this.
Mm-hmm. But you know, there are players who think awkward aim is easier on hard rock. Like the comfort AR-10 does make a difference on awkward aim. But okay, I should talk more about the map instead of how much I want people to go hard rock. But I think we've exhausted most about this map.
Yeah.
And we've made it to the slow ending, so that is gonna be the tiebreaker and the round of 16 pool for the 5-digit World Cup 2024. And yeah.
Yeah, love how this pool turned out from the pooling team. We hope you do as well. You know, there's a lot more in store. Obviously, this pool kind of acts as a build up to customs, a build up to 10.3, a build up to a lot of things. But generally, we still do like it. We think it all came together in a nice little package. We're excited for you to play it. Pool and schedule should be out on the sheet very shortly, I do believe. I haven't been told otherwise, so unless I start getting yelled at right now, should be seeing them come up soon.
Mm-hmm. Our streamer says pool soon on the sheet. And yep, this pool a build up. So be sure to check it out. 6.2 stars, round of 16. All the teams are still in the tournament. You all still have a chance in this round, so be sure to practice up this pool. But until this next weekend, thank you all for watching Miles and Taikani and the pool showcase. And we hope you all have a good rest of your day or night wherever you are.
Yeah, and schedule will be later than the pool, by the way. I just got informed. Thank you all for watching. We'll see you this weekend.
Peace.